Hey there, today I'm showing you some underwater mermaid inspired painting ideas. So first of all, I'd like to mention that this video is a collab with another channel called Candy Yani, and we decided to do some ideas that are mermaid inspired since it's currently mermaid, and we picked three different themes and decided to do drawings, paintings in our sketchbook to those themes. And the first one that I did here is turtle, and here I just painted a mermaid with a turtle, but there's a twist to that, and that is that those are just silhouettes, and I used some masking fluid to mask those off and then painted the water around it. And I really love this effect that you can get here. It's super simple compared to if you were to paint or draw a complete mermaid with lots of details and everything. And even though this might be one of my bit harder videos, you might still be able to follow these and just make it your own. You can use this idea with this negative space and the masking fluid, or just leave out the spaces that are white and just make your own piece with that. I use different shades of blue here, and yeah, you can see my mermaid and my turtle here, and now they're this ugly yellow color, but it won't last like that because that's just the masking fluid, and we're gonna remove that later. And I started with the first blue layer here. I just did those swirls. I wanted it to look like waves or something like that, just have a lot of movement and use different kinds of blues. And I started off with quite bright colors, and I darkened them up even more and more after every layer. So here you can see that I did the second lighter blue layer. I used a little bit too much water, so here I removed it again. And now, because this took some time to dry, I started with the piece on the left, and here I did the theme shark, and I wanted another mermaid with the animal that we had chosen, and I wanted her to be inspired by this whale shark as well. And I wanted the shark to be the center of attention, kind of, because those are really pretty sharks. Look those up. They have such cool colors. And yeah, I did a very simple sketch here as well. And yeah, I don't know if you want to copy my exact same sketch or if you want to do your own thing. I just very messily painted the shark here. I wanted to have lots of watercolor effects here. And then I started with the tail of the mermaid, and I blended her tail with her skin color because I didn't want a harsh edge or anything here. And then I moved on to the piece on the right again and did the next layer. This works best if you have transparent watercolors. If your watercolors are super opaque and chalky, this might not work as well. Mine are somewhere in between. Some of them are very transparent, some of them are a bit more on the opaque side. So this worked okay, I guess, but you can't see every layer through it. And here I just did more of the details on our other mermaid and started off with the background. I just did those driplets and then combined a few of them to make this kind of wave, to have this be a little bit more dynamic and just add a little background. And blue was kind of the only option. Could have used green, but I really like that this page spread is so blue, just different shades of blue. It's very monochromatic. And then I did an even darker layer here. You can see that some of the layers that were between that have already disappeared, but it's not too bad. I think that it looks really cool anyways. And here you can see that I blended the hair of the mermaid, and we're onto the one on the right again with an even darker color. I think I even mixed in a little bit of black at this point, and then I used a white jelly roll pen. I really recommend getting one of these if you haven't done so yet. Those have basically gouache in them, and they are water soluble, and I think they're so nice to work with. I really love those. I'm gonna do a favorite products video very soon, and they're gonna be in there for sure. And all my favorite products are always linked down in the description box if you're interested. So I did dots on our little whale here, and I think that this added so much cute detail and made him so much prettier. And yeah, just did them all over him. I did them in kind of lines on his body, and then just a few dots everywhere else. And then the mermaid got those as well, not as lined up as on him, but I think it looks really cute that way. And she got a few more details as well. I kept her pretty simple though, and most of her body is kind of hidden. Her hands are hidden, everything's hidden. I could have drawn her hands as well, but well, I didn't. And now it's too late, but I think it looks kind of cute. And here I did a few bubbles, and now I'm removing the masking tape on the other side because everything's dry at that point. And I think that this looks so cool because now you can see the white parts. I could have cleaned it up a little bit with jelly roll pens, but I just left it like that. I think it looks really cute, and this is our first page spread. And we also had a third theme, and this one was Starfish. And here I just wanted to focus on the tail of a mermaid because that's just the most fun part, isn't it? And I wanted to include our starfish here, and I took it quite literally, and I looked up different starfish and all of their colors and patterns and everything, and I decided to use dark blue ones with kind of white sparkles. And it's kind of inspired by the shark whale that I just did with the white dots because I really liked that effect. And the lighthouse painting on the right side is one of my gouache tutorials. If you're interested in that, I'm gonna link it for you so you can check that out. And here you can see that I started adding the scales. I didn't add all of them, just a few in the middle to add some little details here. And yeah, then the rest of that is just blue and blended everything together. And this is kind of the messy stage. I had to add in more and more to make it look more interesting. But I enjoyed this piece so much because it's just so simple. There's no pressure on drawing faces or anything. I mean, I can draw humans and everything, but I'm not that good at kind of their figures and their, I don't know, if the faces are too small and if the hands are too small, then I get really frustrated and I'm not really good at that. And it's also not that approachable for you guys to copy. So I thought that I'd just do a tail here, and I really, really enjoyed this. But I saw Candiani's snippets, and she really did the whole mermaids, and it looks really cool. So I'm super excited to watch her video and check that out. I will leave the shirt clip at the end of this video so you can see that. And here you can see that I added in more and more shadows and texture and everything, dots and everything. I really love this super dark blue color. It's almost used up in my palette. I have to order it again. I think that might be indigo or something like that. And yeah, I did more and more of the shadows, just built up the colors. It's always best with watercolors to start with a lighter tone and to build up your colors and get even darker and darker over time. So then with the background, I decided that I wanted those waves and I wanted them to cover the tail a little bit. And here I used one of my more opaque colors. So watercolors aren't really supposed to be that opaque, but those are from my Pastel Dreams set and those are pretty opaque. And sometimes I really like that effect. So in this case, I think that it's really cool. And so I did that. You can also mix in a little bit of white gouache so that your paint will be a little bit more opaque and you can achieve effects like that. And yeah. Here you can see that I added in even more background. I also decided to add a little bit of her belly at that point. And I also blended in the skin with the tail here so that the line wouldn't be too harsh. I really liked that look. And here I blended in those parts a little bit more as well. And I decided to frame it. So I just drew this line around it, just this dark blue line, because the piece on the right had this border and I wanted it to pop a little bit, so I added in this line just to make it, I don't know, a little bit more, I don't know, just so that it would look cooler. And then I used a fountain dip pen with black ink and I added in a few lines here. You can also use a pen if you don't have a fountain dip pen. And then I think that this added a lot. It makes it pop more, it makes it look way cooler. So I think that this was a really good decision to use that. And I really liked the fountain dip pen. I feel like I might want to use them a little bit more in the future. And here we are with the white dots, and this just adds the little extra sparkle. And I think that now it all comes together and it looks just so much cooler, and I just enjoyed doing that so much. And we're almost done with this piece. I really hope that you liked this video, and if you did so, please give the thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, goodbye!